Now we're ready. We'll do it live. What's up, everybody? It's your boy KJ here. We're gonna do this live with the big homie Stillman Crypto. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, everybody? Hi.
Man, if you don't know Stillman, he is absolutely crushing altcoins in the dojo, man. So, not financial advice. We get that out of the way. Thank you to the sponsors at Dudex for margin trading. If you want to go there, it's still a short, heavy exchange. So if you want to play on Dudex, I suggest you use it. You can use it for a hedge to short or take advantage of the funding. The exchange is still too bullish to really long comfortably on there. But I like what they're doing. It's fun. Made a lot of money shorting on there. That's the way I see it. But yeah, back to Stillman. We're gonna
Jake,
talk
maybe
about.
first, do you want to drop a link on Twitter and in the
Oh yeah,
dojo?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me do that.
So we get some people here.
Let me do that. Let people know we are live. All right. If you want to go there, here we go. Make sure the sound is good and all that.
Yeah.
Do it live. Twitter. All right. So, let's see. Wait for a couple of people to get in here. Got 4 people.
Nice.
Let up.
No, I can find the stream too.
Can you see it? Are we good? Look at fucking Naz, man. Oh shit.
I can see it now.
Strong move.
Yeah, I think Bitmong pointed that out in the dojo a couple days ago.
Nasdaq. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you were talking about Nebulous?
Oh,
I was talking
Nasdaq.
about
Of course.
Nasdaq just made another all-time high on the
Yeah,
strength
sure.
of Tesla. Tesla's pulling that up with it. If you caught the, what was it, a stream? Was it yesterday? Did I do it yesterday? Or video yesterday? Or stream? I don't remember. Maybe a video. We were talking about the correlation between BTC and stocks as well as gold. So you see gold kind of falling off a cliff. Stocks obviously opened strong, had a strong close market performance, aftermarket, and BTC pulling back. So if you paid attention to that, like I suggested, you'd be in a good position most likely. Wait for a couple more folks to join, and then we'll really start to get into it. Let's see. Alright, so BTC, also in the last stream, I kind of drew these 2 lines. Well, obviously, Kazanomics Pleb Eject is the top of the range for the most part. You have the 2 fake outs above. And then this kind of like 9200 area is serving as a base. So we went below, and now this line is acting as resistance, which is kind of troubling. You definitely don't want to see it go much below this level here, like 90.50. Like if it goes below 9K, I'm not so sure about the 89.60 level. I'm not too convinced that will hold. And if this wave were to fail, these have a tendency to go level to level. Like if you zoom out, BTC is a volatile asset, guys, and a couple $100 really isn't too much. So, if you look, we started here in like the kind of the Vegeta levels, broke up. John Wick acted as a support where a shockwave developed around it, broke from there, went right through, nothing you can do about it, all the way up here, then kind of in the middle here, but these are going level to level, and then on the way down too. So you have Pleb Eject. These levels matter, and if this wave up here fails entirely, I wouldn't be surprised to see it back somewhere in here around 8,500. It's possible. Wouldn't rule it out. So when I say like if the wave breaks down, I'm not gonna knife catch, means like be patient. You don't need to catch a V bottom to make money if you're longing BTC. But one of the things that Stillman noticed and kind of like pivoted away from was when BTC enters these ranges and these tight shock waves, it's basically just a low volume chop. And Stillman noticed that altcoins were just looking more promising, and kind of pivoted away from trading BTC on margin. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. Yeah, you can talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, we were basically keeping track of the macro view of both the BTC and the altcoin market, and I've been doing like regular, like every other day, I would do like a macro analysis in the dojo where I would look at the two market caps, BTC in isolation, the two market caps, and the dominances, as well as some custom-made index charts that cover basically the ranges of market capitalizations of altcoins you have, so you can time the cycles right. And one thing I noticed was that if we look at the, I'll send you a chart, Jake. This one. If we look at the total market cap, and this was like mid-January, we saw that the total market cap got rejected from that end of October level, this like plateau that total market cap formed in October and November. It got rejected from that hard, even made kind of a swing failure pattern there with the long wick above that I marked with that hammer. But then when we looked at the, give me a sec, where is it? I need to pull it up. Give me 1 second. There it is. Then when we looked at the altcoin market cap, sending it over now.
Okay.
This looked way different. It actually broke the former high, like the wick got higher than that wick in September. It took out the whole November plateau, pulled back a little, but that was significant to me. That it basically managed to get above that range convincingly, even like touching the former higher, the former lower high that it made in September, and then it started to flip levels, and that was basically when I started to really pay attention and went into altcoins pretty heavy. And now we can see how over the past couple of days, this is even flipping this level now, which I had marked for quite a while, and which I find pretty significant, because above that we basically have a big gap, and that's a lot of money that can potentially flow into the altcoin market. The other thing that I saw, like, very varying views on crypto Twitter, was BTC dominance. I'm saying that now over to you. And on BTC dominance,
Got it.
You basically have that really nice like crash cycle type top with the V-shaped top, then the rounded complacency. And I also noticed that if you turn that around, you have our all-time favorite Adam and Eve bottom. So these structures tend to play out like they do right now. And then I had that box range for a while now. BTC kept bouncing on it, but yesterday it actually closed a candle inside the box, and that's like from the orange line to the bottom of that box to fill that inefficiency that it made in July when it chatted up. That's already almost a 4% swing in dominance, and that's again a lot of money that would flow over.
Do not underestimate how much a 3 or 4% swing in dominance would mean in the short term to your altcoins. Definitely.
And the other side of the coin, obviously the market cap others dominance chart, that thing just looked bullish, like making higher highs, higher lows for months now. then like peaking above that 6.7, pulling back to that nice support area, and then I think you can ignore that big red candle with the wick, because that appeared actually a couple of days later on TradingView. I don't know what that is. Maybe some scam coin pumped like crazy, or
You're
maybe
talking
an
about crypto
area.
cap total too? That chart?
Yeah,
Do I have the right
yeah.
chart?
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry,
Okay.
sorry, you didn't pull it up yet.
No, I
Um,
have it up. I just want to make sure I got the right one.
yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I'm talking about the other dominance chart. The next one. Did I send it to
Crypto
you?
cap total.
The next one. I sent you another one.
Yep.
Um, the other's dominance, not that one, not the one on screen right now.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
So this one. Mark,
Wait,
I
I'll send it. I send it again.
Such it. My bad.
No worries, no
With the
worries.
delay, it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah, it is. We got all the time in the world though. So I was talking about this one before. Did you have that up with
Which one?
the crash cycle and the dominance?
This yeah,
Just
with
send it
the one
again.
with the 3% gap, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And now I'm talking. Oops, I'm talking about this one.
Okay. I think I
And
missed that one. Yeah. Yep. There's the red scam candle.
yeah, with the red scan. I don't know what that is. We can ignore that. But this thing just looked bullish for a while now,
Yeah, look at
and
that. Very bullish.
but the effect really we feel it now. Like getting above that 6.7 level, that really started the big pumps we are seeing now.
Right.
So that's basically a quick look into what kind of macro signals we were monitoring, and it's obviously also open to interpretation, where again our like basic charting skills come in. Like you can chart these things; they do follow supports and resistance. Even the like kind of randomly assembled baskets follow TA rules. Like it's pretty amazing when you start doing it and see how well that goes. Um, so basically, if you know how to interpret this, you can position yourself into the right assets at the right time, and circumventing the opportunity cost of like sitting in those things
Right.
while they're doing nothing, like flatlining. They don't have to go down. Like a lot of these coins, they have months and months of accumulation ranges where they just move up and down in like a 20 to 50% range. But you can swing trade that all fine, but oftentimes liquidity is an issue, so you can't do that with bigger sizes. So basically, you want to know when these things are ready to go, and that was
Right.
what we, I think, kind of managed to do pretty well. I got some examples for those too.
Yeah. So like kind of like echoing back to what I'm trying to teach you guys on my streams and videos is like some of these waves and flags take time to develop. And it's not FOMO if you have a plan, right? So if you're waiting for the breakout and you see it and then you get in, and people are like we saw it with ICX, right? Gets through a very key level and keeps going. All right, well from 3K to 5,000 sats, there's nothing there. So it was like the easiest trade imaginable. Yeah, no, maybe you didn't catch the bottom, but just because you didn't catch the bottom doesn't mean you can't participate. We want to be
Definitely.
right, and Kazanomics taught me this. Like when you make a good trade, you should be right away. He says that all the time. Like you don't want to enter something and be sitting there holding it for a week. Like what's going on here? Because so like for instance with Tron, kind of discussed it I think yesterday. I really, rather than playing around in that wave between 195 and 210, I'm like I want to see some closes above 210, because then once you start to see that, there's the potential for this to just start going. You know, you don't have to hold on to that, especially in this climate for altcoins. We have alts popping off left and right. We called, 3 or 4 of them yesterday. All of them hit, and they hit right away. So that's really what we want to do, instead of just holding on to, some coin that's just dicking around, for lack of better words. We're looking for the coin that's in the best position to make an explosive move, and not so focused in catching the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? That being
Exactly.
said, Also, if you manage your positions properly and you're not going all in on every coin, then you can kind of take some risks. So like for instance, and hold on a little bit if you have a bang in entry, um, because if this reversal is legit, some of these coins, like you're literally buying the bottom right now. So you don't need to be too quick to sell, but at the same time, you want to have a portion of your portfolio allocated into coins that you can just get in and out of and just capitalize on what is hot, each day. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That was like I told that a couple of Dojo members the other day that this actually is the phase in the cycle where it does make sense to run kind of a moonback strategy again. It seems memey and like conditioned by the bear market, you basically got taught that will get you wrecked. But now is the time where, in my opinion, after you paid yourself, after you took profit on the levels that you decided upon before you entered the trade, that is where you could still leave some for later at the moment.
right.
And we will go into like kind of the out cycles during a Bitcoin bull run a little bit later to explain how that works, because even those moonbags you might not want to hold them for like 2 years.
Yeah,
um,
yeah. So like, we're getting some questions in regards to ICX. So, I mean,
oh yeah, I
this
see.
daily is insane. This is insane. Um, like to
Let
see how
me
this closes, but like,
let me send you
you
my
have yours. Yeah,
ICX
let me
chart,
pull yours. Yours is working.
because this is like ICX got me. Like we had that. This is the anchor meme for like months and months and years now. So when I spotted the first like this, I spotted the second bull flag on this, and I posted this in the dojo, and we were all kind of laughing at it. And I posted the second one, and
Yeah.
we were still laughing. Like I didn't buy ICX. Like I alerted people to it, but I didn't buy it. So the thing we did then was obviously that we started looking at the ones like the related coins lagging behind, and that's obviously Aeon and OneChain. And Aeon, um, let me pull it
Looking
up
at this,
here.
it's super interesting because,
Yeah,
like, this chart, and this is just also a testament to Kaz's teaching. Is like, if I didn't know what chart it was, what resolution, this could be anything, right? And
definitely.
looking at this looks like almost like kind of like BTC coming out of the bear market, right? So you get this nice pump up to 2200, a pullback. That's that same move that we got kind of around like 8300, where it went to 64 in 2019 summer. Then you
Yeah.
pump up out of it, and look at this wave right below 3K. That's like pleb eject right there, and then it
Oh, it
just
is.
fucking takes off. But like structurally, a lot of these things end up looking the same, like in some regard. It looks very very similar. Just
Yeah.
random thought. Sorry.
Yeah, and once like you got that signal for a trend change, that's basically where on the other assets that are lagging behind, you can just find your
Right.
entry. Like
Right
you
into
said, you don't.
Ion and ICX. I mean, and
Yeah,
One. Yep.
yeah, like Aeon, we catch that retest in this orange box, and that's still like I don't know 120% up now. Um, and that was a great trade. And then on one chain, which was lagging behind even harder, like one chain went down during all of this, and this actually allowed us to catch the absolute bottom on it. Like we got it on at 2K sets, and that was just following this principle of why shouldn't this go to. Like I did
Yeah.
did a quick FA scan, like, and FA in this case means, do they still exist? Did they work during the bear market? And they did. They actually fulfilled a lot of roadmap goals, and I saw that they were about to release some pumpermentals.
Yeah.
Basically, they
If,
were
if
they
you're
were
around in
ready.
2017 and 18, these three coins are the trinity that makes up the interoperability alliance. And
Alliance. I don't
and
think
all
that
three of them
ever.
fucking pump at the same time. That's all you need to know. That's
Exactly,
all you need to
exactly.
know.
Like
Is that when
like
one of them goes, watch the other two. Period.
exactly.
You can keep them
I
in a
don't
basket
think
by
that
themselves, but
I don't think that interoperability alliance was ever operable. Like they never did
it
anything.
was
I
just
think
marketing. It was a
it
marketing
was
job.
just marketing.
Yeah.
Like yeah, pretty genius marketing at the time.
Yeah.
Um, so, but still, like when people think of one of them, the others will pop up. That's basically all you need to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go to some questions real
Oh
quick.
yeah. Oh yeah. One thing about Icon, like two days ago, I think we were in DMs and we were talking and saying if this can like 4,800 to 5,000 sats for Icon will be major resistance. But if it can get through that, that would be very, very bullish because the whole structure of the chart would change. Like if you really zoom out on it,
The next stop is 10,000 sats. Really, is where it goes.
yeah, like
Yeah.
people were talking about a blow off top, and I agree. Like at first, the daily candle that was shaping up looked like that, but if this can test the 5,000 sats from above and hold, then that will basically confirm the end of the downtrend on a higher time frame, and that's pretty big. Like that's not something you wanna take your profits if you were in the trade. You don't want to FOMO, but a consolidation above that new support that was heavy resistance, and I think it needed this like FOMO move to get through it. Is pretty amazing how that went. But I think like a consolidation above is very, very bullish for Icon, and that's that. Like just because you missed that move, you don't have to have that feeling of okay, and now I will never gonna look at it again.
That's
Like
what
you can
that's
still
what makes
play
it
it.
keep going. Is everybody telling people to sell it and nobody buying it? Is there's no sellers? You know, like nobody
The
has
structure
it.
of a pump, right?
That's
Nobody
exactly
has
how
it.
it works. People don't
Yeah.
understand that, but the asset that nobody has is the one that pumps. You know, not that many people got in down here. Period. You know.
That's how the Huobi pumps work too. Like they have them, their market makers, they corner the market, they control the supply. Almost nobody has it, and then they just read the FOMO when they start to
Yeah.
give it a push,
And then when
basically.
everybody gives in, that's the top, but it's not yet. But looking at ICX, like just like the structure of this trade, I mean, look at this daily. So this is like an extremely strong trend that begins to go vertical, and this like 3,000, 2,900, 3,000. That mark is a significant mark. You have two daily candles stop there, then the next one blows right fucking through it, like right through it. Like at that point, it's above this wick here at 34. So the next level is this, right? This around 5K. Like at this point, this is the easiest trade in the world. You just buy here and sell there. That's it. Like that's where it's going. But people that don't understand TA, all they see is percentages and numbers going up, and they go, "Don't buy that. Don't buy that. It's going up. Buy something that isn't doing shit." And that's literally the mindset of people in crypto. I was trying to explain to people like there was another stream where we were talking about Tilray and versus and this MGI MoneyGram versus Apple and Tesla, and I'm like, you don't want to buy this. This isn't a downtrend for 12 years, okay? Like you want to buy something that's going up, for 12 years, not going down. And people are messaging me and they're like, oh yeah, fucking tell them to buy the top. Oh, you're an idiot. And I'm like, you just don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like people that
Yeah,
know like
absolutely.
TA like will understand that. But that's human nature too. People want to sell the top, they want to buy the bottom. It's an ego thing. And it's what gets people killed in markets, really.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like the altcoins, basically after they started moving, you can always find your setup to get in. Like we did that with Dash, for example, where we didn't catch the bottom at all. Like, but we got the first major retrace, the first major flag. We got into that, and that was still like very, very nice trade, especially because Dash is such a liquid coin in
Yeah,
comparison to other
everybody can
crypto
get in
assets.
that. Like
Exactly.
the you, it's really nice to be like, yeah, I bought the bottom and I sold the top, but like every day there's opportunities. So like that's kind of what we do is we're scanning through all markets to find stuff that looks like it's about to go, and is in the right position for us to get in with minimal risk and kind of
Yeah.
ride the wave. That's what we do. And
Like Zavi with the Disney earnings call.
yeah,
I think
it
I
was a
think that thing
bang and
up
play.
like $4. Yeah.
Yeah, the Disney
It's
call is
crazy.
insane. Chris with the oil short. There's a lot of different ones, but
Yeah.
like that's basically what we do is we try to find the setups for you, and then let you make your own decisions, but at the same time put you in a position where you can make those decisions. Uh, so anyway, moving forward.
Yeah, like
Oh,
yeah, something else like as we just talked about Dash, something else that was like meaningful in that trade was how Dash completed, and I commented on that on Twitter, how Dash completed like a full market cycle, a years long market cycle, which is pretty amazing sight to behold. And after seeing that, I was also thinking, okay, how can we do this even better? And one of the examples where that worked pretty well was Sia Coin. the future of cloud storage. And I just sent you the chart if you want to pull it up.
Yeah,
like this is the high time frame one,
you can't even see
where
it.
you can see where you can see like I have these level mark the 2017 level where it took off, 2016 level, the all-time low, which it didn't reach, of course. And if we zoom into that a little bit more closely, I'll send you like the zoomed in chart now. That was basically the first part of information. I think it was sitting right there on the 2016 launchpad level. And then I just pulled up the indicators on the daily, and you can clearly see how for months now, like since June, even May, like in May, the MACD started to diverge heavily from this downwards price movement, and the same thing happened with the RSI, higher lows on that one, while SIA price made lower lows, and then recently you have that strong divergence. You had that strong divergence on the stochastic RSI too. And that's like another key thing that I was looking out for. And this actually made us catch like the absolute bottom. Like we got in like 16 and 17 sets. And you never really, like it's hard to know when this divergence starts to play out. Like this could diverge further and further and further. But if you have the combination of general sentiment, nobody was looking at SIA coin, obviously. But like, all these alts started to pop up, so it was very unlikely that this would take another leg down. And then you have the historical level that goes back 4 years. Like this is people who were in crypto, whales who traded this, they know this level. Like it means something. So that was basically how we could do that super tight entry. And yeah, it's a low set coin. It's up 50%, and if this altcoin trend continues for a while, I think this will have legs to go a good amount higher even. Yeah, so that was a very clean setup.
A lot of these alts look the same too, and like you have to look at it like, so you have these necklines, and like if they get through the necklines, the next levels are significantly higher, like 2x plus higher. So you just kind of want to look out for that and look for the ones that are breaking through with volume, and that'll kind of point you in the right direction. The SIA coin call was fantastic. Just to switch gears real quick, talking of alts, and I'm getting questions about Arthur and XRP. Just to let you guys know, I just want to show you, because I did make a tweet about it. It's actually a thread, but just to give you some perspective, and hopefully this remains scarce, because people don't seem to believe me when I say this, but, geez, I've been tweeting a lot lately. Where the fuck is my Arthur tweet? Yep. No, not that one. Alright. Where is it? Here it goes. Alright.
Okay.
Alright, so is it called Ripple, XRP, or dog shit? Who knows? Who cares? It's worth more than zero, so it's time to trade USD pure on BitMEX. Everybody is like, oh yes, every time Arthur lists an altcoin, it gets crushed, right? And calling it dog shit isn't exactly encouraging, right? So obviously, I mean, let's pull up XRP. It is going up. I mean, even more so on the BTC pairing. But, let's see. When did he tweet that? That was 10/23, February 3rd. All right. Let's see. Go to. Was it PM or PM? All right. So that's 12, 22. That's right here. Okay. So shortly after you get the pump up, but just to go back the history of this.
Wow, look at that gap even. The lag on the stream is pretty heavy, by the way.
Oh.
So I'm seeing things like 20 seconds late.
Yeah. So here's this one. This is on January 22nd. The year of the rat starts this weekend. Time for Bitcoin volatility and volumes to nosedive. So people interpret that as bearish, right? When it happens. That's January 22nd. Let's see where Bitcoin is, right?
I remember that one too.
Yep, I put it in. I said, hey, this is bullish, guys. What was the date? January 22nd. So that's here. You get a dip, actually, on this one. You do get a dip, and then it pumps right out of it. But still, his timing is interesting on that. That's not as bad as some of the others I've seen. But at the end of the day, the volume didn't nosedive whatsoever, really. Volume has been climbing. Let's see. What else?
Obviously, Chinese New Year played out very differently due to the virus outbreak too this year. But that was known already when he made those tweets. So,
yeah. Rumor. Oh, this is the 29th. When searching for Bitcoin bears in the forest, only saw carcasses. Thanks, Satoshi Z. This is the 30th of October. So he's basically, laughing at Bitcoin bears. That's here, right? So, not exactly a great time to buy. This is the top of this complacency here. Immediately you get a dump down. So the timing of that is interesting. But then, I mean, just the whole trend has reversed at that point when he tweets that. It's basically the top. You also have winter ain't over yet. February 28th.
oh yeah,
And he hasn't been tweeting much. So
that one was extra bad. That one wrecked people who listened to it.
Yeah, that was a bad one. So where's that? That's here. That's it. That's at 3,800. Winter ain't over.
Yeah,
So,
that was so bad.
So just my view is I pay attention to what he tweets.
Yeah,
That's it.
me too.
That's what I'll say about that. All right. So where were we? Sorry to.
No, it was good.
Of course. Talked about
Like something I wanted to talk about maybe to finish up like the altcoin topic was and also touching again on that concept of keeping moonbags again is that when I say keep a moonbag, it doesn't mean keep a moonbag until the next Bitcoin blow off top into the repetition of the 2018 altcoin top, right? Like we don't know if that can happen again. I'm not counting that out totally, but when you look at bull markets, they unfold like you have those approximately 4-year cycles with like bear market pullbacks and then a bull phase. And these bull phases, they last a couple of years, like around 2.5 years to 3. So even if you look at 2017 alone, I'm sending you a chart right there, Jake.
Got it.
That's Redcoin. Like Redcoin, great that coin still exists because it has been in existence for so long that we can observe the cycles on it. And you can see how during the first altcoin pump, it started relatively later than others in 2017. It had that giant pump in May. And then BTC gets a bit bullish, then you get the whole I think that was the first SegWit turbulence, and the whole market corrects. All the altcoins give a lot back in set values, while BTC
Yeah,
is
the
basically
top of that
going on a
pump got
big
killed by Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin Cash fork is
exactly.
what killed it.
Oh yeah, exactly. While BTC is basically chugging along and building its real bull market momentum, like it's gearing up for that 20K, and all these altcoins, they give the set gains back almost completely. And
Yep.
so I would expect similar things to happen over this market cycle, where you might get your mid cap season and it might feel very euphoric, like you might see some great gains on altcoins. But remember, this bull market lasts for a while, so you need to keep an eye on BTC and take your profits both in BTC and USD.
Yes.
And these moonbags are not for 2023, at least as far as I'm concerned. I think there will be ample opportunities to compound. Another chart that I got is Ethereum. And Ethereum looks very different than Redcoin, because Ethereum was like 2017 was its year, and it is responsible for most of the altcoin growth and the growth of the altcoin market cap in a whole. But even on Ethereum, you can see how the big pump starts in 2017 January, or like end of 2016, and it tops out in March, and it never reaches that set high again. Like even in 2018, when it trades for $1,000, you would have still been better off to take profit during that first pump into Bitcoin and to just hold Bitcoin. So that's
Right.
something, in my opinion, to keep an eye on and be open-minded about. These altcoins can be great vehicles for your money, but they are not more than that. They're just vehicles. So
Yeah. Look at the little waves between April and June. Because it went so crazy there, that doesn't look as significant. But those were pretty serious pullbacks. And then you have see this move that it does from June to August, makes a little bull flag, then the bull flag just kind of fizzles out and goes all the way back to the origin. That's a setup that we play very often. And
yeah,
if you guys watch the streams, you see those are
good
the kind of
spot.
ones that I look for, because almost every coin does it, every asset does that. So definitely that's a gem right there. Kind of like this is the same thing as Tezos and BAT. So let me pull up BAT actually while we have it. This was like a little while ago. Like if you look at BAT, you have this move up, then long flag all the way back down. It's not exactly the same. If it would be the same, it would be go down here, perhaps. Like I guess it does it on a smaller scale here in September, but that you're starting to see that volume creep up here. Got a nice daily run. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dailies in a row are green. The volume is going up, and we are at resistance. So 2750. If you get above that, this thing could really start to take off. I think then, because also you got to keep in mind what the trend is. The trend is alts are doing well versus BTC, and one thing I am keeping an eye on is BTC pulled back a bit today. For a good portion of the move up, so we're talking about from 6,800 to where we are now, alts were doing well with BTC, but when BTC pulled back, alts kind of pulled back too, right? Wouldn't you say? Um, and the last couple times BTC pulled back, you didn't really see alts react too negatively, which is a good sign, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. It still depends on the altcoins a little, but a
Right.
lot of them weren't phased at all.
Yeah. In the past, or not the near past, they were pulling back right away, and now they're
Hmm.
not giving back as much. So that I wouldn't be a buyer here. You got to wait for it to go a little bit higher, kind of gets up there, keeps that volume. Um, this can take off, make a nice move to XRP really quick. So like as you can see, a lot of these are doing a very similar setup. They're coming up on their necklines. Uh, Look at the volume. Volume is rising. Arthur is flooding. It's right at the neckline again. This is not. And then look at the trend. Alts are doing well. So, do you really want to short XRP? Like, you can get blown up like so quickly you won't even know it hit you, and you'll eat
Yep.
mega slippage. So, like,
The slippage on that, what I was about to say.
yeah, you'll
Oh
get
man.
killed with slippage if you try to short this and you're wrong. Um, I think your risk reward, like look at this chart. Like you want to short now? Does that make sense? I don't understand logically. Like you could win the trade. Who knows? Maybe it'll pull back. But from a risk reward perspective, short doesn't seem to be what makes sense to me. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong. So
Yeah,
it doesn't make
especially on
sense.
the
It's
especially if you look at the Bitcoin chart,
it's
like
not
the sats pairing.
it's not logical.
Um, I mean, since they opened the like, and this is actually like somebody asked about Nano. Hbone asked about
Let me
Nano
pull it
and
up.
if it would stop at 92 cents. And personally, we did our entries on the BTC pairing because, in my view, the mid cap season, like basically the conditions for the mid cap season, is BTC pulling back in a controlled fashion and
Like going sideways a bit.
yeah, going sideways, going down, like um, and in that scenario, you would basically want to be long on the BTC pairing and not necessarily on the USD pairing. Like there are a lot of questions tied to that. If you long the USD pairing right now, are you bullish on Bitcoin in like, and if you're bullish on Bitcoin, do you think that alts would continue to perform well when Bitcoin pumps? Like, or would the BTC pairing pull
Yeah,
back?
know
And then
this.
you could just straight up long Bitcoin, right?
If Bitcoin breaks up out of this wave and makes
Yeah.
another higher high, there's going to be a violent reaction. It's not
Yep.
going to just like slowly go. Like it's going to go like a nice candle probably.
And
And
that's why I wouldn't trade alts in USD terms right now. I think it would bring you like to wrong mentality and exposes you to complexity that is difficult to navigate. I would just play the BTC pairings and play with stops. So, for example, if I'm wrong and like BTC could still like the structure up here doesn't look the most bullish, but it did find some acceptance at this price. So if I'm wrong in BTC chats, then I had a great 2 weeks of outs trading and my stops will hit, and then I'm back in BTC. But if you're in the USD pairing trading outs and BTC dumps more, then you are basically quickly in a world of trouble while the BTC pairings do well.
yeah,
Why would you do that?
yeah. Nano's making a strong move, strong daily trend.
Yep.
Um, it
Nano's the other example. We did that in unison with Coin. Nano, you will find the same bullish divergences over months and months.
Yep.
It's massive. That was like I loved that chart when I saw it.
Yeah, I think 1,000 sats will be a psychological barrier. Gets through that. I mean, you have what's this? This is I think the 200-day MA.
Yeah, I think it's
It's
still up
it's right at the
3,000.
200 daily MA.
I think it's still up 3,000% from early Railblocks days.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean that thing.
Ray blocks. Yeah, that was like 100x in like
Yeah,
a couple weeks.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I think in the
Crazy
end it was
stuff.
even more.
Hmm.
Um, so this thing is still up high.
Crypto
I think I
Ninja's
saw it
asking
recently.
about Bcash. What do you think of Bcash?
I think Bcash is one of the like from out of the majors.
This
A lot of
is
them
the
look okay on the BTC pairing side, and Bcash is one of those that even look good on the USD chart. They is actually looking like one of the strongest.
yeah.
I have a really nice like it's visually pleasing. I have a nice chart for that.
Let me take a peek. You got it.
Crypto
Yeah, both of them look
majors.
good. These are both pretty good looking
There we
charts.
go.
Looks pretty good.
Um, Here, I'll send it over right now. One sec.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is accumulation here, but it's I guess it's low time frame. That is kind of what the wave is. They're trying to get their hands on more of it, but it does look very very strong. There's no doubt.
Can you
Yep,
can you pull up my? This
got
is
it.
that you had the Bitcoin
I
pairing
was looking
chart.
at both, but yeah.
Okay.
Oh, nice. This is nice. Yeah, look
Yeah.
at that.
So I made this a while ago where like these are all very very high time frame trend lines that have been respected very often, and on the USD side, even it's still in the bullish territory and it's nicely like retesting that trend line. Obviously, at some point you want this to take off from that trend line because Otherwise, you could say that this support is weakening. Like more tests of that support aren't bullish at all. But so far, like in terms of a USD chart for a major, this is one of the best looking in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, what else? What else? What else? Let me think. We could talk about Walton a little bit.
Well,
Yeah, might
yeah,
as well. Might as well.
it's
You know,
nice that that worked out so far.
yeah. I mean, look at where it's at. So, you know,
It's up like 35% since we
not bad.
got in.
Not
Yeah.
bad. But if it gets through here, then like, where does it go? Like none of this is really like you can't like point to anywhere on here and be like, yeah, that's where it stops. So, I realistically like it's like up here somewhere. Somewhere in there is where it can go.
I need to wait for the stream lag to see where you're pointing. Can you say a
Yeah,
sets number?
I guess like here, like over 1,000, like 1,200 to 1,500. It can go there. Don't sleep.
I can see. Yeah, yeah. Basically, like
There's
I
not
think
much.
the biggest resistance until going there would be like the 910 that has been tested extensively on the way down.
Right.
910 sets.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be big resistance going there. Like that's not count out chickens before they hatched.
Right.
Currently, it still needs to take out, and that's interesting because it made that high. It ran into the 614. Like that's a weekly level. 614 resistance got rejected pretty heavily with those long wicks, and around that time was also when people on Twitter pointed out how they just released their founders tokens, and people thought they were allegedly dumping. I have no idea. I doubt it. But that's basically a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. Like the price will go down. We were also in like an earlier Walton trade, and I saw that tweet and I told everybody to exit, which was the smart thing to do at that point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then it goes down again, and it doesn't reach that low that it made before at 400. It just stops and gets that giant volume candle, and that was basically when I pointed out in the dojo, we were both
Yeah.
like, "Wow, this is the highest volume candle, like daily volume candle by far it ever had in all of its existence."
That's insane.
Um,
Yeah. Is that
yeah,
real? Like
I'm
crazy.
not sure. I
How
don't
is
know
that
how it
possible?
came to be. Like I'm not sure how it even came to being. But the fact like that combined, like even if not all of that is real, that combined with this low held feeling that it had there, like it just got stopped in its tracks, and that was when we were like, okay, this looks interesting. Not from an FA point of view or anything, just the chart and that reaction just looked like it would be worth an entry.
Yeah.
So far, it worked.
Yeah.
Very curious,
So
like
far, so good.
yeah,
So
very curious. And like about all these the founders tokens, we had that discussion. We had that on Twitter with a couple of people, also in the dojo, and both me and Jake, we point out how this will happen to a lot of older projects. Like it's been a couple of years since they did their ICOs, and they had these lockup periods that all come to an end now. So
hmm.
basically, this thing will like this
they have to
problem
pump
will
it. They
doom.
have to pump
They
so that they
and
can
that's
unload
and
on
that's
you.
the thing. Yeah, they won't. They
They're
get
not
their
going to sell
founders
the bottom.
tokens
They're not going to sell at
exactly.
99% down. They
And
have
they also
capital.
need to create the liquidity to exit.
Yeah.
They need somebody to dump them on. Down here, nobody's buying. Like nobody's looking, nobody's buying. They can obviously like slow drip maybe, but that's not how they get the best out of their money. So
Yeah. They
yeah,
have to be
we
the
we
top.
we interpret that as bullish, at least for like a short to medium term.
Yeah. So, still getting more ICX questions.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
why not?
this guy says, "What do we think ICX will finish on this year?" Um, this is really not
does
that
it
type of YouTube channel
does
anymore.
it matter?
We take it one step at a time, really, and I'm not gonna sit here and throw out like numbers, literally keeping our eyes on everything down to the hour, and we'll identify high time frame areas where it can stall. Um, but ultimately, for me to project where an altcoin will be a year from now, it's just not something I'm going to do because I don't know. period. You know, I just don't know. Hopefully way higher than it is now, you know, one can hope. And if the trend is in fact reversed, which from a technical perspective is getting very damn close, you know, odds are it'll be, who knows, it can go up and then go all the way back down and then go lower. You know, we don't know a year from now what will happen. But, you know, the only thing we can do is monitor and play the best probabilities and manage our risk. And, you know, when you're managing your risk and you're in a good position like you are now, if this is in fact the bottom of alts versus BTC, then, you know, some of these waves, you don't know where they're going to take you. They could take you very, very far. Looks like Tesla, you know, I did a stream of Kaz. Kaz called it at like $230 or something. It's just gone straight up. So if you put your stop there,
Big time.
and you just manage your risk, and you're trading options, like people became millionaires off of that one call. And you know, when the trend goes in your favor, you don't know. It can go way higher than you expect, and it could go way lower than people expect. So, you know, I think.
And that
Yeah.
that guy, like a member of the dojo showed us like a Reddit thread of that guy who played like two big option plays
Right.
with like 40K and 100, and the next time with 100K, and made millions of that. And that guy didn't enter at the bottom actually.
No.
So that again reinforces this idea of these assets are just vehicles for your money, and you can get in for a ride and get out again, like and you can find new entries along the way.
You don't think about
So
it. People are literally talking about shorting XRP now, like now, right?
Hmm.
Let me just show you something here. So some people will say, don't buy the top when the coin has gone up like 20% after it's down 90%. They're like, don't buy the top, you're FOMO, you know, like that type of thing. But I'm gonna flip XRP upside down, right? This is the move, okay? Now you're gonna long now. Now you want to long? Like that's basically what you're doing. If you're shorting here, you're longing this now. Okay, that doesn't make sense, but that's like you shorted the whole way up, and now you want to long. So you know the notion of now is the time to short altcoins is, I think it's very short-sighted. And if you're gonna do it, be very, very careful. You know, you might be able to make a nice trade for the short term, but if you're taking more of a mid to long term approach, I don't think that's where your money's going to be made, is shorting at this point. Okay.
Disney up another 2%. Nice. Xavi making bank for the dojo.
Xavi, killing it.
Raven, please, guys.
That's you.
Nice.
I know
bro.
you got a chart. You'll get your
I
Raven.
got a chart.
This guy wants to see Grin. I'll take a look at Grin. All right. So yep,
Sure.
same kind of thing. Grin, is that the one with like the crazy miner benefit? Like the miners are just dumping on everybody. This is a Mimblewimble coin, right?
Yeah, it's one of the two. Beam and Grin.
Beam and Grin. It's not doing anything for me where I would be a buyer here. You know, I don't know how long this can go. It just kind of, it's flat. Volume is meh. Maybe there's another exchange where volume is, but I would wait for it to show me a little bit more. It needs to prove itself a bit more. These can go sideways for a long period of time, so it's not something.
I looked at the chart recently, and there was like one nice volume spike if you go on.
Maybe
like
I'm looking at the wrong exchange, the 4 hour.
Yeah.
This is just like a really long bull flag.
But I'm not sure we can still call it that. Yeah,
that's what it's.
I would view this as like an accumulation range, but you would want to have the volume increase towards the end, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, I'm monitoring like lower caps and micro caps, and I mean, Grin isn't the lowest cap, but it's a newer proof of work coin, and I am seeing volume spikes and like sudden price increases about like 20-30% on like a day, when that's when you see people getting back into position, and they're basically preparing for the money flowing from mid cap season to low cap season. So they want to be
like
early in there.
What was that coin? There was UTK. You saw like these big spikes. So it reminds me.
Yeah.
Like, you got to remember, if you're on like low cap, low volume, and like you want to get in early on a pump, like, and you have size, like sometimes you just have to buy the fucking book. Like if there's any orders of size, you just buy all the way up to that, and like you'll get these spikes. So like these little 4 hour wicks here, like these moves up, this could be one person just buying the book,
Yeah.
to build
And
their
just
position,
the
and
spread
they
lets
wait
it
for it
drop down again.
comes back
Yeah.
down, and they just do it again. This reminds me of like buying Lux. Like every
Yeah.
time I would buy Lux, the price would go up like 20-30%, and I did that for like a month. And it went down. It just kept going down, but like every time it would go down like 10, 15, 20%, and there would be like, point 0.2 BTC order. I'm like, oh, I'll take that. 0.3 BTC order. Oh, someone put a 0.5. Shit, I'm taking that too. And I just keep buying it. That's sometimes what you got to do. So as far as looking at the chart and the technicals here, I can't tell what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't see it yet. But
But you're zoomed.
Sure.
You're zoomed in now. You can see those
Yeah.
spikes that I
Yeah,
mentioned.
now you
Like
can see it.
some people are getting into positions, but I wouldn't be too much in a hurry because like um you're also getting your opportunity cost by entering now. You don't
Right.
know when it will go, and
Exactly.
there's no money to be made on coins that are pumping right now. So it depends. It depends. Like it depends on how you manage your portfolio and if you got the funds free, basically, that you want to have sitting there.
Yeah.
So Raven,
You got it.
I sent you a chart. This is basically like this is the Binance chart. The Bittrex chart has a longer price history.
I always say
Um,
Raven at 300 sats. It's good.
Yeah, that's all this chart illustrates. You have the Binance listing goes down below like it goes a little low. It goes to 250, and it also spent some time there while it was on Bittrex and the smaller exchanges.
Right.
And we played the first pump on this. Zavi and I we wrote this long ass article on it. We got in for the second time. That was basically the where buy this below 300 sets started, and now we had this nice drawn out accumulation period that starts in August, where you have several dips into the zone that go just all the way down to 266, and recently we had like a couple of dips in the 270s. And we bought this in the low 290s. We had that first move out middle of January above 300 sats. It dipped back down again, and now I mean it's moving towards the middle of that range. Like it didn't properly break out yet. It just broke out of this low time frame structure. So basically, our entries look nice now. We can like sit comfortably, move them slightly into profit, so we don't lose money on this. This is already a nice gain, but it's not what you're looking for if you're in the Raven trade. What worries me about Raven, about Matic, but those two
The
the
leverage.
most is the leverage on Binance. Like for most of those coins, I don't care that much, but Raven was a very, very nice oscillator that did these regular pumps where you could like read market cycles off of it. You could accumulate nicely, distribute nicely, and now the margin could mess all that up.
Right.
Matic, I'm like Matic actually is one of the stronger FA coins in the sphere right now. Like Ethereum scaling is relying heavily on layer 2 solutions. Matic is one of the better ones, and the fact that first of all,
pump and dump was just really
like
really
that's
bad. Just not good for
I'd say
anybody.
that's like the short-term problem is the instability of it all. Then it's cascading to other coins. Like on that day, a lot of coins on Binance
They
started
all
dumping.
started to dump.
And if you look at it on a higher like time frame on macro view, these instruments stabilize price. Like people like traders who are using them well don't need these coins to pump as much anymore, and they will take profit earlier. And then obviously you will have those stop loss cascades again. So this could actually mess with these coins that have these beautiful cycles, and Raven has the mining economy of it all behind it
Do you think it has
too.
the possibility also to create larger pumps if shorts are just getting too low enough?
I mean, you can see how the velocity on the Matic
on both sides.
Yeah, the velocity on the Matic pump was super high. Like it was way higher than the first time. So yeah, I definitely think that's a possibility. It makes it more unstable, less sustainable. But if you're looking at the market cycle now, like crypto market cycle, what you would want if you buy Raven below 300 sats, and you keep a moon bag, would basically be like Raven moving up in the ranks of crypto, becoming something important. And the chances of that happening diminish through this margin trading, because the liquidity right now just doesn't suit the
It's like
instrument.
FTX, yeah. If not Binance, FTX, but both of them have margin enabled, right?
Yeah.
Raven is not. What's he saying? Matic was. This is IM. Matic was shortable on FTX. The big short was put on FTX, and Binance was spot sold. Raven isn't on FTX to do that, so I don't know.
That's good intel.
This guy Ron says right now 2K ready to pump in ICX.
You can only margin long Raven on Binance. That can't be right.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
I don't think so. I don't think that's what he's saying either. I'm not
Okay.
sure what he means by that, but
feel free to expand on it.
I don't know if I would get into ICX this second. I don't know.
I would want to see this like shockwave
I want to see how the daily closes too.
This support, yeah, that too. Like, look at that candle when it closed.
Yeah.
How long is that wick when it closes, and then also can it develop a shockwave? Like Dash had this phenomenal pump, and then it went into a very, very high time frame shockwave that it still hasn't broken out of. So,
this
ICX doing that would be fine. It would give everybody, like, you could enter towards the lows of the shockwave if you want to play ICX, and that allows good risk management, because then on the break of the wave you can just take your loss, and you
can just be patient. It could do something like this, like that, then like this, then go. Something like that. Like if it comes down here around 4,000, and everybody's like, oh, see, this is why you should have sold ICX and no FOMO, hey guys, and you get all that shit, and it's just like chilling right here, like then you could buy, or if this breaks up, starts to go up, it just takes out this level, then you could buy that. But right here, I would wait to see kind of how the daily resolves itself, and keep an eye on this wave and how this develops. The other thing is, like in the 1 hour, the sell volume was pretty heavy here, which is a little concerning. This is the largest volume of the move was a sell. So I'll break it down to this. Yeah, this was sell volume. So I would be careful here. It might need to cool off a little bit. We'll see. What do you got? What's this? Oh, no, this is Raven. Okay. So you can short on Binance.
Yeah, I understand it now. How, like, on Binance, the price action was driven by selling on spot, and the short was simultaneously open on FTX to reap those profits. I get that now. Yeah. Yeah.
I think we've just
Any other
covered it. Yeah. Questions? Yeah. Before we wrap up. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Last chance. I say, speak now. I think I ate that buffalo sandwich a little too fast. My God. Right.
I had a really, really good kebab.
I mean, holding above 5K is a good sign. Definitely a good sign.
Yeah, and like, even if you're not playing ICX, if it can flip 5K as support and continue on its journey, that's just a good sign for the crypto markets as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tempted to say, if this 2017 garbage can still pump, then we're all fine.
Yeah. Nitro.
And I wrote one of the most read ICX FA articles at the time, I think. Times change you.
Yeah, definitely. People are still hooked on that good project shit. It's like, this is not that type of channel, guys. We don't care, or at least I don't. I don't care. I'll trade anything, like, as long as it looks good, Like, all right, so F from USD, obviously following BTC. This is nice. Running into the same type of resistance. Let's see what the BTC looks like. This doesn't look bad. I don't know why you say it. It's above the neckline and just flipped it as support today. So I don't know why this would be interpreted as dead. Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, Ethereum definitely one of
Looks
the
fine.
majors where the BTC chart looks better than the USD chart, other than Bitcoin Cash, in my opinion. BTC chart looks great in my opinion. Agree with you.
Yeah, that looks very good.
The USD is like,
It's following BTC at resistance. This one.
yeah, it's a very, very key resistance.
Yeah.
190 area, very, very important
Yeah, you
for.
want to see this break up. This breaks up, starts to move like side, like a not too sharp. Well, if it moves up sharply, then you know. But it might give you. I mean, look. This. So. This is where the dump happens, and now you're using it as support. This is low time frame, 4 hours, but this isn't looking bad. Let's put it that way. Doesn't look bad. He rolled in late. Yeah, you're gonna have to catch the replay, man. Sorry. I done did it. I ate my buffalo steak sandwich too quickly, and my stomach is wrecked right now. What's BTC doing? Let me take a look. Take a peek. Yeah. Don't love this, but let's see. Like, we really don't want this to be resistance, this line. Another rejection up here, and you could probably short that. Yeah. I mean, the trend is still bullish, so if you're in a short, like, you can't be too greedy. Definitely move your stops because it could come back against you very easily. But you know, I would want to see this break above 92. I think if it can get above like 92.50, you're in good shape. So probably safer to wait for that rather than longing now. This is the other two wicks down here were like clear fake outs, bought up instantly. This one's spending a little more time under and now testing it from the bottom. So
Yeah,
that's not a great sign.
yeah, that's not something you want to long straight away. It actually looks more like a good short.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Anyway, I think EOS on the verge of breaking out. We'll take a look.
Yeah, EOS looked good.
Let's see. I mean, yeah, this looks very good. EOS is strong, man. It's banging against this. Yeah, similar to BAT. Like, no, not the same at all, actually, but the wave structure here, so is similar. Like, it just keeps hitting that resistance. So if it can get through this, this can go for a nice run. The volume's super low. That's the only kind of a little concerning part. But looks good. EOS is strong, you know.
EOS,
been
just
talking
looking
about EOS
at
for months.
yeah, EOS actually also looking good on both pairings. USD is also above a key form of resistance right now, like for $13. That's a nice level to hold, to take off from. Next resistance 452, and then you very quickly get above $5 because there's this big gap to fill.
We did ICX like twice already. So, to catch the replay, sorry. No more ICX.
I actually found your tweet pretty hilarious today. The survey you did.
Oh yeah.
Who knows what the interoperability alliance is?
Yeah,
And about 50% said they don't know.
40. All right, so we got 46.7.
But everybody's talking about ICX right now. It's
Oh, it's almost 50% now, and a lot of people didn't vote. So like, if people didn't vote, I would interpret that as more like they didn't know.
Yeah, they weren't really sure what you're talking about.
Yeah, they might not.
It's interesting. Like, it might be a sign of new money.
just the old money is dead, which needed to happen
Yep.
for this to do a new cycle. You need a bunch of new dummies to come in and, become euphoric and think they know something and then get destroyed. Um, we're not. It's not that we know so much more. It's just, you know, we've seen it. We lived through it. We experienced it, and we had a lot of, you have good and bad, but understanding where you are in the cycle and what that looks like from an emotional perspective is extremely important. And you know, each cycle brings in new people, and you know,
Yeah,
it's pretty funny when you
definitely.
start to see the same things happening. Um,
Yeah. And
this,
it got way more obvious after like Kaz opens your eyes to
yeah,
it.
of
You
course.
you look at things like as even like especially at your own experiences, you interpret them very differently.
What's this?
And 516 keeps asking about QNT. I pulled up the chart, um, and currently I would still say that's at resistance. That's like doing a bearish retest.
Got it.
If that gets above, I'm
Move
on the
below.
coin trader chart, so it's not the.
Oh,
I can send you the thing real
this
quick.
is
Give me a
okay.
sec. Give me a sec. Here, so everybody can see what we're looking at. So QNT currently, I would still interpret this as a potential bearish retest. You wanted to get over that last lower high, and flip that, and
Oh
then I
yes,
would
it's
be
definitely a
interested.
resistance here.
Yeah, then I would be interested from a technical
Yeah.
perspective. I know that it's a hashtag good project, and I actually think that it's one of like the ones with the stronger fundamentals, amongst the thousands of projects out there. But from a technical perspective, this is not, you're buying resistance, so I would be careful.
Yeah, if this can get through though, like this one can go, it'll go.
Oh yeah, it can go
Yeah, I gotta keep an eye
nicely.
on this. Yeah, thanks. I'll definitely
Yeah,
keep an eye. I'm not buying now, but
I
uh,
actually, I actually, it was one of the charts I kept monitoring, but I didn't mention it yet because, yeah, obvious reasons.
yeah, yeah. These are too small, so we don't talk about these publicly. You know, um, and we're not being that like every day we're talking about 10 different charts. It's not like we're like, hey, buy this coin now. That's not what we do. Um, but for the smaller stuff, we try to steer away from discussing publicly just because we don't want to influence them at all. So it's not like we're like, hey, buy this, and then like all of a sudden we'll start tweeting about it. Like those, I mean, that's gonna happen. You're gonna see a lot of groups do that, but that's part of the game. But it's just not something that we're really doing. So you know, at the end of the day, we're trading the charts, um, and TA works on these small coins. Believe it or not, don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Yeah, it works
Definitely,
on everything.
it definitely works. It works on everything. So
Watch Kaz TA somebody's heart rate, and you'll
yes,
understand it works on everything.
yep, absolutely. All right, I think that's about it. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Um, Throw me a like. Let me get a like. A subscribe. Um, and yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with a short video. Check it out. If anyone's interested in joining the dojo, the link is in the description, or you can check out my pinned tweet on Twitter. And yeah,